Hello and welcome back to the cookie jar. Today we are making Ibbys Metaphysical English Toffee, which that's page and that page. Okay. So this is the third recipe out of Candy for Christmas. We need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, rack in the middle position. You will need a 16-ounce box of club crackers. Mine were made by Keebler. There's a note that says there are 3 packets in a 16-ounce box of club crackers. You'll use only 1 packet. You can buy a smaller box if you can find it, but you can always use extra crackers, right? If you can't find club crackers at your store, you can use any brand of salted soda crackers. Your goal is to cover the bottom of the pan as completely as you can with something both crispy and salty. You will also require 1 cup of butter, that's 2 sticks or half a pound, 1 cup brown sugar, tightly packed, 2 cups of milk chocolate chips, 12-ounce bag. They are specific about that. It does say milk. 2 cups of chopped pecans, salted or unsalted, it really doesn't matter. So the first thing you're going to do after you preheat your oven is line a 10-inch by 15-inch cookie sheet with foil. If you have a jelly roll pan, that's perfect. If you don't, turn up the edges of the foil to form sides. Then you're going to spray the foil with Pam or other non-stick cooking spray. You want to be able to peel it off later after the candy hardens. Line the pan completely with club crackers, salt side up. Cover the whole bottom. You can break the crackers in pieces to make it fit if you have to. Set the cracker-lined jelly roll pan or cookie sheet aside while you cook the toffee mixture. Hannah's first note. You don't need a candy thermometer to make this candy. Combine the butter with the brown sugar in a saucepan. Bring it to a boil over medium-high heat on the stovetop, stirring constantly. Boil it for exactly 5 minutes, stirring it constantly. If it sputters too much, you can reduce the heat. If it starts to lose the boil, you can increase the heat. Just don't stop stirring. Pour the mixture over the crackers as evenly as you can. Hannah's second note. I start by pouring the mixture in lines from top to bottom over the length of the pan. Then I turn it and pour more lines over the width of the pan. Once the whole pan is cross-hatched with the hot toffee mixture, I pour any that's left where it's needed. If it doesn't cover the crackers completely, don't worry. It'll spread out quite a bit in the oven. Slide the pan into the oven and bake the toffee at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. Remove the pan from the oven and sprinkle the milk chocolate chips over the top. Spread the chips. Give the chips a minute or 2 to melt and then spread them out as evenly as you can with a heat-resistant spatula, a wooden paddle, or frosting knife. Sprinkle the chopped pecans over the top of the chocolate and refrigerate the pan. When the toffee is thoroughly chilled, peel it from the foil and break it into random-sized pieces. Hannah's third note. Ibby used her toffee as a reward for high quiz scores. Once you taste it, you'll know why I can recite at least 1 stanza from each of the metaphysical poets. Okay, so let's get into the kitchen and get making some toffee. Okay, so let's spray and our club crackers. And they said salt side up. Now I'm trying not to overlap them. It didn't actually say if that mattered or not. But I don't think you're supposed to overlap them. I do think I'm going to have some extras, though, or not have enough, personally. Now, I measured this morning. It is pretty darn close to what they recommended for size. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. Yeah. I need 4 more crackers. There we go. Looks pretty perfect to me. Okay, so the next thing that we are to do is to melt the butter with the brown sugar in a saucepan. So here is our butter, and we're going to add to that our brown sugar. And we combine this over It says to boil it, so I assume that's going to be pretty high to get something to boil. I'm going to put mine on a 7. Let's see. So, I guess once it starts boiling, you have to give it 5 minutes. But main thing they want you to know right now is to stir it constantly. Got some melting starting. I know it says medium high, but this doesn't seem to be getting anywhere on where I put it. I might turn it up a little bit. Yeah, let's go 8. Now we're getting somewhere. Try to break up the butter. I did cut it into tablespoons, but it doesn't seem to really, just kind of clump back together, it seems. It seems we've gotten all the butter melted, and now we are just waiting on it to boil. And there's the oven preheated. Remember, that's to 350 today. We are starting to get bubbles, some very little ones. So I am going to set a timer for 5 minutes. It says to keep stirring during those 5 minutes. And if it sputters, you can reduce the heat. If it's not boiling, you can turn up the heat. It says as long as you're stirring, you'll be good. I am going to turn this back down to 7. I just don't want it to burn on me, and it does seem to be sputtering quite a lot. Alright, that's our 5 minutes. We're back to our crackers. Alright, so it says to pour it as evenly as you can. Now this doesn't look like it's going to pour very well, but that's just my opinion. Too much. Now, see if I can't try to smooth this out a little bit. Not very well. I know it says it'll spread out in the oven, but I just really wanted to try to get some of the center covered. That should be it, I hope. Alright, now this will go in the oven for 10 minutes. Looks pretty well spread out. The last thing is to sprinkle the pecans and then refrigerate. Seems like a lot of pecans. Pecans. You know, they always have a debate about that, about how you say the actual word. And I tell you what, I feel like every time I change it, I switch it. I don't know if I'm the only one. Or maybe it's just from growing up in Northern Virginia. It's not quite the South. It's not quite the North. So you had a bunch of people saying it different ways. Could be. All right. Now, I know it doesn't say to, but I'm going to press it down into the chocolate a little bit to try to hold it steady. I want to make sure it solidifies into the chocolate. Okay, and now we're just going to pop this in the fridge. It doesn't say how long, it just says chilled, so I'll probably give it an hour or two, and then we'll break it up and try it. So it has had about 2 hours in the fridge, and now it says to break it up into bite-sized pieces. And it peels pretty much right off. It's not sticking to anything at all. So that's the back. Some of it did leak through. And then there's the front. I think I'm gonna see how it breaks this way. And then I'm just going to break it, I guess, this way. I don't know. That seems... I definitely think pushing in the pecans was a good idea because they fall off quite a bit while I'm breaking it up. So it's a really big piece. There we go. I don't recall it saying how to store this, but I'm pretty sure just an airtight container will do fine. Okay. There's our pile of Ibbys Metaphysical English toffee. Here we go. One nice piece. This is what we got. See how good it is. It's like a Heath bar, almost. It's like a not so break your teeth Heath bar. I can say it right. This is really good. This would actually be like a Christmas, like something, candy for Christmas, yeah. I think if you could package this up in like those dollar store tins and give them out for Christmas, I think this would make a really good gift for people, like your mailman. If I don't know if people actually give gifts. I've never actually seen that outside of TV, but teachers, like if you have kids and you send them, I think they would like it. I think it's really good. I like it a lot. I don't foresee this lasting very long. This, it looks like a lot, but I guarantee you before the end of the week, it will be gone. Week, that's cute. Before the end of the weekend, it'll be gone. Okay, so next week, we are doing the fourth recipe out of Candy for Christmas. It is a cookie, so we're back to cookies, called Butterscotchies. It is a cookie with butterscotch chips. think there's rolled oats in it. I can't remember. But it will be interesting. So if you are interested in a butterscotch cookie, join us next week. We will be baking and making.